Hello everybody and welcome back to the Durham Student YouTube channel. Today I am here with another video for you, and this is about what current students wish they'd known before they arrived at Durham. So I asked around and we asked for suggestions from current students over on the Durham Student Instagram stories. I asked some of my friends in my college, and I've put together a list of things that people really wish they'd known before they arrived at Durham. The first thing that people wish they'd known before they arrived at Durham was just how much the JCR had to offer. So JCR stands for Junior Common Room, and every college has one. So basically when you arrive at uni, you automatically become part of the JCR if you're an undergrad student, and the JCR basically is like the student body of every college. So it involves societies like welfare teams, there's a bunch of community spaces, and it's basically like your community group in your college. So the JCR runs Freshers Week, there's an executive committee who run all sorts of different aspects, from the formal events to just the general communications you receive as a student. The second thing that one of the current students over on the Durham Student Instagram story said they wish they'd known was how good the collegiate system is for making friends. So this girl said that she really didn't click with the people on her corridor, and if it weren't for the JCR, she really would have struggled to make friends. But because of the collegiate system and the meal times and everything and the way you can get to know everyone, she was actually able to make a lot of friends, even though she didn't necessarily click with the people on her corridor. And I had quite a similar experience to this. The people on my corridor were lovely, but we just weren't really the right fit as a group of friends. We were all quite different. And so the collegiate system really helped me meet more people, and the way all the events were run, because if it weren't for that, I think I would have found it quite hard to push myself out of my comfort zone and go and get to know new people. So particularly if you're nervous about making friends, the collegiate system really helps you with that, just because there's always events and things that you can go to where you can get to know people, and always similar people crop up at the same events, and you can start to meet more people. The third thing is that Freshers Week does not have to be the best week of your life. I think people come in to Freshers Week putting a lot of pressure on it to be this perfect experience, and that's not true at all. When I came into Freshers, I was so nervous about it having to be this amazing thing, and it actually really doesn't have to be, because at the end of the day, you have so many more experiences coming ahead of you where you're going to be so much more comfortable and have more established friendship groups, and that first week is really going to be quite a nervous week, and it doesn't have to be this perfect experience. The next thing that was said over on the student Instagram account is that they hadn't realised how hard homesickness was going to be, but also that it was a really normal thing. So I thought that people would probably be quite shy to admit to being homesick, that everyone would be trying to put on a brave face when they got here, and I was really unsure about how that was going to work. I wasn't really sure how homesick I would be or not. I don't live majorly far away from Durham, but at the same time, I knew it was going to be a really different experience being away from my family, and I'd never spent that long away from my family, and even when I had, it was still with other people I knew. But actually, I found that people were really open to talking about feeling homesick, and there wasn't really any shame around it at all. And I really bonded with my best friend Francesca over, there was one evening in about third week where all the homesickness just really hit me, and I went and told her, and we talked it through. And honestly, I just think that as long as you're open and honest about these things, actually everyone else is really feeling it too. And it's not an issue at all, because you have a community there to help you through it. The next thing is that time actually flies so quickly at uni. So I think a lot of people, when they come to uni, are wow, this big daunting thing ahead of you. But a lot of people coming to university have done A-levels before, and that's 2 years at sixth form. And if you think about how quickly your A-level experience has gone, mine just absolutely flew by. Uni's not really that much longer. If you're either going to be doing 3 or 4 years probably if you're at Durham, and it goes so quickly. I'm already halfway through my second year. I can't believe that I basically my time actually in university, I'm doing 4 years because I'm doing a placement year, but of my 3 years at Durham, I'm already halfway through, which is absolutely mental. I can't believe that I am already so far through it. So I think the main thing to note there is just make the most of every moment, because it absolutely flies by. A suggestion I had from a few current students was that they wished they'd known to like prop their door open more in Freshers Week. It's like the best way to get to know people in your corridor is to just wedge your door open, and because anyone walking past can just come in and say hi, and it's another way to just be really sociable. But again, like I said before, if the people on your corridor aren't necessarily your people, it's okay, because you are going to be able to meet so many people through the collegiate system. I think a lot of people weren't sure about before they came to uni, and I know I was so confused, was what does a formal involve? Like, I think people have heard about formals, but they don't really know what a formal is. Now, at Mary's, we have like quite a few formals, maybe not as many as other colleges, but I think we have quite a lot. And so this year, I have already been to a lot of formals in first term, and I'm going to another one tomorrow. So we have like, you have freshers formal, if you're coming back, you have returners formal. We have them for like Halloween, that's more of an informal event at Mary's. I've got Burns Night formal tomorrow. There are all sorts, like there can be Valentine's ones as well, Christmas celebrations. Basically, the premise of it is you get dressed up in something nice, and so in some colleges you wear a gown. So at Mary's we have gown formals, and when you sign up as a fresher, and do all your induction stuff, you can buy a gown then, or otherwise you can rent them, but I would recommend buying one because it actually works out cheaper if you buy a second-hand gown, which is what I did. But you basically dress up in something nice. So girls usually wear cocktail dresses, tops and trousers, or like suits type things. The guys usually wear suits, and it's just like a formal meal kind of thing. So they can be 2-course or 3-course meals, and generally they're not super expensive. You get discounts if you're living in college, because obviously you're already paying for food, but for example the one I'm going to tomorrow I think cost me £9.50 to go to, and out of that I'll get a 2-course meal, and obviously like all the work that's gone into like decorating the hall and everything, and they're usually much nicer meals than you would have for a general college meal. Another thing that a few current students suggested, and some people in our welfare team suggested, was that it is okay not to be okay when you come to university. I think people expect that they have to go off, and because they're being self-sufficient and, you know, living away from home for the first time for most people, that they need to like be totally ready for it and like really strong, and it's not necessarily the case. There is such an extensive welfare system in place in Durham. I've done a whole video about it, which I did back for World Mental Health Day in October. Another thing that a few people said they wish they'd known before they got to Durham was that how many new things would be on offer, and that they just wish they'd be more open to trying these new things. So for example, we have like cheerleading, like all the colleges have cheerleading teams, and then there's like the university cheer team as well. There's rowing, which is the same. There's collegiate level and university level, fencing, and Mary's even has a beekeeping society. So there are so many different things to try, and it's worth just coming in like open-minded, ready to try some new societies and things. Another thing that someone suggested, and I didn't even think of this, but I did like suffer the consequences of this, was that if you are interested in getting any sort of student job with the university, you need to bring your passport. And I forgot to do it when starting this job and had to send home for it, and it's so much more convenient if you just bring it with you, because any job that you want in the university, there are so many jobs, and if you want to get a job in the university, you need your passport to register for that job. So just bring it with you. Obviously, if you're an international student and you're travelling here, you're going to have it anyway. But for a home student, it's a really good thing to remember. Kind of linking on from that as well, uni life can be really expensive, and a few people pointed this out, and they wish they'd kind of realised this before, and I think there are a few ways to tackle that. Firstly, budgeting before you get here. Like, I over budgeted before, so when I got here I actually found that it wasn't as expensive as I thought, and I think just sometimes people don't consider that. And obviously like student lifestyles can be expensive, particularly if, you know, you're going out eating or drinking. Sometimes I think people don't fully bear that in mind. So just consider the sort of lifestyle that you expect to lead and how much that will cost. And if that seems like it's going to be a bit expensive, there are plenty of part-time jobs available. As I said before, there are loads of part-time jobs in the university, and for example, I'm doing this marketing intern job, but also there are loads of jobs in college and like within the university, so you can work in like all the college bars, you can work in the students union in a number of roles, like there's the toasty bar, and we do have a whole video about part-time jobs coming for you as well, in which I interviewed a few of my friends asking them about their student jobs, because there are loads of options if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, uni life can be expensive, but it is so manageable to have a job, so it shouldn't be an issue. Okay guys, that's all of the things that current students have suggested to me or suggested over on the student Instagram account that they wish they'd known before they came to uni. If you are a current student and you have any more suggestions, please just comment them down below, because it can be so helpful as a prospective student to hear advice of people who have been in your situation. And I know I found that at the time. I asked everyone I knew that was already at uni for tips. If you've got any other particular videos that you think you'd like to see, just comment them down below and I will happily make some more of them for you. I hope you're all having a good day and week, and we will see you next time. Bye!